we've got the U making its long sound at the start of unite, union, unicorn, human, pupil. It's in the middle of the word here. And here we've got the long I sound represented by IGH. We've got thigh, flight, slight, alight and delight. So what you can see here is frequently we have a T after that long I sound with IGH. This is words with this GH in that we don't sound are from Old Germanic, where they would have given that a guttural sound that we can't voice. So what we do is when we say this word, we leave out that guttural sound, but when we spell it, we have to put that sound in. So that may help you. Now, A-light, you've got a long sound there, and D-light, you've got a long vowel sound there. These ones, pupil and human, you're breaking it after that long U sound in all of those words. Okay, let's look at what these words mean. Unite means to join. Union is an association formed by people with a common interest. A unicorn is a mystical creature with a horn in the centre of its forehead. A human is a person. A pupil could be part of the eye, or it could mean a student. Thigh is the top part of your leg. Flight means to move through air or space, such as a bird or a plane might do. Slight means a little bit. So it might be a little bit of rain, a slight rainfall. Light means something shining bright or on fire. And delight means when you're to make someone happy or when you experience great pleasure. In these words, we've got the U making the long U sound in unite, union, unicorn, human and pupil. And down here we've got the long I sound made with IGH. Now, these words are probably from Old German because they would have given that GH a guttural sound that we can't make from the back of our throat. So because we can't make that sound, we just pronounce the I as a long sound. We leave out that GH sound. But when we write the words, we must put those three letters in for that long I sound. So we've got thigh, flight, slight, alight and delight. Now we went through the word meanings yesterday, so you should be aware of which words could link up with each of those meanings. These are common idioms or sayings that you may hear or use yourself. Sometimes in some of these we've used the same this word more than once, so just be careful there. And hopefully you're going to start using some of these idioms in your everyday language so that you get used to the meaning of them and understand them when you read them. So use the list words in sentences to show the different meanings. Some words can have multiple meanings and they can have multiple forms. So you could have a word that's both a noun and a verb, or a noun, verb and an adjective, etc. So here you've got to work out the different meanings for pupil, flight and alight and write a sentence showing the differences in the meaning in those sentences. Match the pairs, you just got to link them up. Use different coloured highlighters or pencils to do that. And here we've got a little hint for you to finish off the passage with the missing words from the list. Our words today are unite, union, unicorn, human, pupil, thigh, flight, slight, alight and delight. So here you're going to have to work out which are the verbs and which will be the most appropriate verb for each sentence, and if you've written it in the correct tense. So do think about those endings to make those verbs form correctly in each of those sentences. Now make the word and write it in a sentence. So you're going to make the word unionist, humanity, delightful and slightly. Then you're going to have to work out what form that word is taking with that suffix added to it so that you use it correctly in a sentence on each of those lines. Now down here we want you to write 3 or more adjectives to describe these words, these nouns. So see how many different words that you can write there, but at least 3 we would need. Now down here you're going to label the eye and you're going to label the legs here, And I would suggest that you use a different colour for each link that you draw to the pictures for each word. On this page we're using the IGH, the I consonant E or the Y to make the long I sound in this first passage. So this is a common theme throughout, so you can go through and work out which are the missing letters in each of those words to complete that. Then down here you have to fill in the gaps as well as with the I, IGH, Y or IE, as well as identify whether these statements are real or nonsense. So you're going to use an R for real and an N for nonsense, and you can put those letters down here as you feel appropriate. Now down the bottom of the page we're filling in the gaps and sorting into the correct sound group. So we're adding EI, but it's going to make 3 different sounds. In some words it's going to make the A sound, some it's going to make the long E sound, and some it's going to make the long I sound. And then you have to write them into their correct area. Now there are only 3 words where the EI says I. It's not very common. There are more words that say where it says E, and there are a lot more words where it says A. So an example of an A one would be wait. An example of one where it says E, the long E sound, would be ceiling. And an example of one where it says I would be height.